Hey everyone, welcome back to Februllage. We are on week number 4 or part 4 where I'm going to show you the last week of Februllage. It's been an emotional journey. We've done a lot of different pieces and I'm really hoping by the end of this we'll have a very great collection of artworks, both produced by myself and you. I'm definitely feeling a little bit creatively exhausted, but I'm definitely loving it that this is the only obligation I really am giving myself for the month to really dive into my art. As artists, I really encourage us to take the time to focus on our art every once in a while and just put everything into it. And that's what Februllage really is for me. Honestly, before I had YouTube, most of my artwork was made in February. Literally because of these prompts, I was creating a piece every day and I really felt like I was able to hone in on my practice. So with that, let's get started on finishing the final chapter of Februllage. Okay everyone, next day, we're doing the prompt river. So this piece I just love. I think that I can just picture something popping out of this river. I don't know if I want to cut it all and put something else under or if it's the matter of having someone like popping through it. I have a pile of people that I put to the side for this one. And I just don't know if any of them work. Like I would love for someone to be on like the angle of this way and be like in and out and having they're having like their legs up and through, I don't know. But I have this person, obviously, I just don't think the angle is working, although this is like the exact kind of pose I would love, but like backwards like this, and maybe some sort of way to have her whole body through and then the legs sticking up the other side. Then I was kind of joking if like the person's looking up and over would be kind of cool. But I feel like this face is just a little bit too big. I also have these two people, so like we could have them popping out of the river. I feel like they'll work for the sky more than they will, or I don't think this is sky either, but I think that they would work for up here, but you know, we need more than that. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, maybe the birds have like their heads through. Like I have all these little tiny birds. They're kind of a little bit too blue, I think. I'm worried about that, but I was just thinking like, you could have their bodies cut off and like heads coming through other ways, but I'm not sure about that. This one's kind of interesting. The right tones for sure. It would definitely look like it's a part of it, and like it crossing the river. But yeah, what does it mean? And we have some of my pinups that I have cut out. Just the idea of like someone like sitting, I guess, like in the river. I'm not sure. I'm not happy with these. Definitely not happy with any of these. I think this is like the right idea that I would go for, is like I was picturing someone like popping out, like if her head was here and then her legs were sticking out. I mean, I could cut her in half and maybe that would work, but I don't know. So that's like a maybe, but it's like, is it saying anything? Why is their bodies in the water? Who knows? And then I just have this one, which I thought was kind of funny. Like she could be like sitting like it's a poolside with just her toes dangling in from this angle. But again, yeah, I just feel like I don't have the right people maybe. So maybe we go to my people book. I'm happy to say I have some ideas now that might work. Okay, so we have these people. Obviously, they might be able to work with anything. So I'm just gonna like fold this so that we can see them up there. Just, I think it would be funny. They're having a nice little bath. Maybe this woman's having a bath. That's definitely like one idea I think could work. Then we have these people, which I could put like closer to the top, have them cut out, and then they'd be like fishing into the pond. I would probably try to find something that's being like pulled out of it that's a little bit silly. And then we have this kind of idea where like the bed could be like in the river kind of thing, like popping out of it, like you're so asleep in the wilderness. And I think that having these greens show that like it'll work nicely within that, I think for sure. So that's a possibility. And then we have kind of a silly one, but we could just have like this guy getting his head dunked into the river with these two women, and their feet kind of in the river too. So maybe, I think this one is one of those ones where I might end up posting like 5 different pieces, because I think I can see like these ones all going somewhere. So why don't we cut them all out and see which one we like best. I'm definitely going to end up posting 2 for this, but I do think I want to go with this route for the actual one. I think if I put it like here, cut her leg into the forest, cut her foot into the water, his head into the water, I think that this one is going to work. But I do have this one on my mind. I think it's just kind of, there's something sweet about it. I think I'd have to find something like jumping fish or something kind of similar. It would just be more of like a nostalgia piece versus like this one, which I think is like kind of dark and funny. What I'm thinking here is that even though her leg is supposed to be there, it just doesn't look good when this is happening. So I think we need to like back this up, cut out her leg so that we don't see it. And then maybe the head will go like actually a little bit into the water, like the forehead instead.
Now let's do the second version. I found these fish online for free. I think they were off of Pixabay, which is a free domain website. There were so many good ones, so I just downloaded a whole bunch and I was like, I'll figure out which ones I need to use after this, and just trying to see if the colors all work together, which ones were standing out a little bit too much, maybe which ones were perfect, and kind of went from there. So we definitely have too many fish here, but we'll see how that works once we have a little bit more to this photo. As I was looking at this photo, I just felt like there was more to be had above it, so I used the generative fill to fill the top part, and I actually really liked what it was coming up with for the automatic fill. This is something new to me for sure. I know it's new to everyone. It hasn't been around for more than a year, but I'm really happy with the results so far. This is definitely a feature that makes me pro AI for the future of art. It definitely helps me with my pieces when I'm working digitally, so I highly recommend you give this a try. This is done in Photoshop.
Another day, another dollar. We're doing capitalism today. We're on day 23, so we're nearing the end, which is super exciting. If I remember correctly, there's a lot of great images in here. I'm really excited for this one, that is for sure. A small man uncrushed by brutal power. Thought she'd be good. She's pretty like Uncle Sam feeling. Little baby man. I think this one is kind of interesting because these are the same type of thing. Cool babe, who has it made? And then we had this photo that we were thinking I could make it into like something larger, like going on behind the scenes, like who's taking the cash, all those types of things. I feel like this one's gonna end up being like super big if I do this, so I'm thinking like you'd cut here and then maybe like above it are like these two guys kind of like punching numbers behind it. I don't know if I'll definitely need like some sort of background to bring them together because it's weird having one person with illustration and one person that's real. I think the guy having blonde hair here and this guy having blonde hair is kind of interesting. Or do we just do a completely different direction? So I had this. I was kind of thinking if you had like, you know, money kind of printing out of here, I think that like we'd probably have to cut it out here and have some other type of background. I like this, but it's just not willing to save it for this. Having the woman with like a gun, I think is kind of crazy. I think I'm gonna start by cutting these out and we'll kind of just see which one's working better. If I don't want to go to the route of this one being like massive, I could also just like cut this out and have like this big person in it. I think would be kind of interesting. First, I do want to cut her out, and I think that it's interesting that she looks like Uncle Sam. Just for now, I found this piece on the back of one of the quotes. I think it kind of fits actually, it's kind of funky. So that's a little bit of a happy accident, but let's say that that's there. It kind of works because his hair and all that. Like, what if this person is like flying in and like looks like she's waving her wand to like fill his hand with money? And now I didn't really like the color of the wand, so I'm wondering if we just cut off a little piece of this, like even just the strip, and make it the wand instead, give it a little bit of a red hint. I'm trying to figure out if she goes like behind or in front. I think I like the in front just because her boots are really funny, but I wonder if this is a little bit better. It feels like this guy is holding out his hand to like ask for a wish or something from the universe, and she's like a little fairy giving him what he wants, which I feel like is a little bit of a take on capitalism for sure. Especially in my generation, we've been promised what previous generations have had if we worked hard, went to school, etc. And we definitely do not have that. Even looking at these prices here, like it's a joke to me. Like it's like hot chocolate or coffee now is probably like $3 or $4 a pop, probably $2, $3 here for sure. Homemade muffin, probably like $5, $6. All of these are like way more expensive now. Shrimp and fries is probably like 20 something for sure. So it's just like a really, I think it like pulls in everything. And yeah, looking at the prices, at first I wanted to replace them and put like something funny, but I think that they actually speak for themselves within this. And then, yeah, I feel like this Uncle Sam fairy is kind of promising that if you work hard, you'll get it. And if you ask for it, you'll get it. But I think that the idea is that if she waves the wand, nothing's going to change. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. So I'm going to scan it in from where it is now. Have you ever watched my videos and been like, wow, the paper envy is real? Well, now I'm selling collage kits on my website. You can take a look at flanzella.com and order a collage kit for yourself. It comes with tons of unique papers, stamps, and totally different things that I'm just finding on my way. I put a lot of time and effort in them, making sure that each one has some great unique pieces that people can use for making their own collages. And I've been loving seeing all the pieces that people are making with them. So go check them out if you're interested. Okay, we're back for day 25. I'm a little bit late in the day today, so I'm hoping to get it posted. We did think about this option, but I really wanted to create this, and it's simple, but I think it'll be good. This is gonna look like the spill is what my hope is, and I definitely want to keep these people and have the pool all cut out and her just like popping out of it and having these kind of go over everything. So yeah, let's see how that works. So the problem I'm having here is that I actually really like the rest of the body. I think that I would like to have this here. And since I'm lacking time right now, I'm wondering if like maybe this is a little bit of a digital fix.
As I was creating using that other piece, I was like, maybe the colors aren't exactly right. And then I saw this piece that was in my folder. I've printed this out, but I have never used it. So I was like, maybe I could just try this again. So I brought the photo in, and as you can see, I've made the girl 3 different layers so the water could blend more into the purple. And then I'm just gonna go in and make the feathering a little bit more feathery. Although I ended up posting both of these pieces, my favorite one by far is the second one. The colors just work so well.
Okay guys, we're back. It's day 27. We're so close to the end. The next one I have is Plaster. I think this one comes from a place of deep in my heart. Every time I watch a home improvement video and you see someone cover up a beautiful wooden table, for example, it just breaks my heart. So I think that I want to make that message very clear with here, where we see something ancient and beautiful getting covered up by some paint. This one I was really excited to do. I think I still have a really great idea of what this is going to look like, but I definitely want her to kind of be somewhere in here. And instead of having this paint behind her, I think I'll get something that's like fully covering part of this. I did some looking at different like patterns that I could do, but I do think that just having white has a bigger meaning, and it kind of works here, right? I think I want to make it so that it looks like she's done this section, so I might have to go find a piece of like literally just like white blank paper. This one's from a book, and I like how thick it is, how white it is, so I'm gonna see if I can find that. It's always funny when you try a bunch of things and then you're like, I think that like a white simple thing might be the way to go. Like having something where it looks like this whole piece has been done up until her roller, I think is kind of what I'm picturing. I accidentally ripped this off, so I'm gonna have to fix that after. But I'm just trying to figure out exactly where this is gonna be. I'm gonna lightly go over where I need to cut. And then I'll do this on the mat after. Okay, I think I like this, so I'm gonna scan it in.
I wasn't just gonna scan in the white paper, so instead I'm going in with a select tool, and then I'm just gonna fill it with the paint bucket and make sure that it looks the exact same as the piece that I was doing in person. Being an analog artist can be very difficult because we need to post the pieces digitally, so you end up being a digital artist a little bit as well. Lucky for me, I'm a graphic designer, so that hasn't really been an issue with my work. But when I am bringing in pieces, I really make sure to make them look the exact same as they do in person. Unless it's like taking text off of arms, for example, for advertisements, I try to clean up for that. But in something like this, I'm going back and I have the piece right next to me. I'm looking at this and then making sure it lines up to what I had in person. You can see here I'm moving everything over because I underestimated how much white space I'd put in on the real one.
I totally thought that plaster was number 28, but we still have curtains, so let's try to do something with this. I don't know why too, but my brain is going back to this piece. Like we just used it for the spill one, but I wonder if this tub could like go in the pool and she could be like kind of in the trees like that. I I'm not sure if it really represents curtain or not, but it definitely has curtains on the side. I think that that's something that maybe I could find and add after, that they're like in more of like a secluded little place, like a bathroom. Also don't know what it means, but that's kind of where my brain is going right now. I obviously pulled this piece too, and like the curtains are kind of covered by things, so it's not like I can just like pull these out and put them into a different piece. I don't know if I'm gonna have to do a little bit more looking. This could be a good one. I totally forgot that I had this. I cut this out so many years ago. I think like literally at least 4 years ago. And it has a curtain, so I mean, we could do something with this that it like leaks out. Like she looks like she's like being stared at, or someone ran in and she's trying to hide herself. So who is that person? Why is she hiding? I like the idea of it being like in the fridge and that like the water's gone cold or something. This one's not going to work exactly because of the angle, but I wondered if I could find a fridge that she could be like inside of. If we're gonna go the nature route, I think this one's a little bit better. Like I could see putting her in here and having the flowers kind of come around it and it be in there. But again, like I'm just not sure about this. Like I feel like it's so simple, it doesn't really say much.
When we're in a time constraint, digital just comes in handy so much. I looked through a bunch of books and just could not find a fridge that was the right size and the right angle. And for this, it was very easy to find. So I just headed over to Pinterest and looked at some advertisements and found this forward-facing fridge. And I love this one specifically because it has the blue and pink, and you can just see that these colors are gonna go really well together. I wanted to start by putting her in the fridge and just seeing if it was gonna work, so let's do that now. I then thought about what I could do for the background, and my first idea was this like ski resort snowy vintage photo. I thought it'd be funny to just have it like smashed in the middle of it. I did try out some other scenes as well and just wanted to play around and see what was gonna work. The thing with digital that I always find interesting is that you have a lot more control over what you're making. I find that like I needed to have the idea for the background, and for this one I just wanted something cold to show she was like freezing coming out of the shower or something. I tried a couple other ideas, but I wasn't like super phased with them. I did post this photo and someone said that I should do a banana float background, and I was like, that sounds actually pretty cute, so I might actually try that out again. This is the beauty of digital, is I could make this piece 100 times over, and I could have a different idea every single time. So here I just didn't want the snow to sit so flat on top of it. When you're doing an analog collage, you can always see the cut a little bit. It makes it come forward. So I'm just trying to get that effect in here by using a drop shadow tool. And then for this one, it looked like a newer photo, so I'm just going in and adding some noise. I did the dust and scratches, and I just did 1% radius, and it makes it look like a magazine from the olden days.
Okay guys, we've made it to the last day of Februllage, and the prompt is extra. Now, I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go with this one, but I have an idea now, and it's kind of an interesting one, so bear with me. So my leftover pile is very thick. There's so much in here. I could use this pile for like a couple months, definitely. But what if we did something where I tried to make as many pieces or as many piles of potential as possible in the next 30 minutes, maybe let's make some piles of potential and then do another 30 minutes to try to put them together and make something. So let's just kind of run through this. I obviously already kind of see something here. I think if I cut out the background, like this could look really nicely with this kind of nice sunset image. But again, where's the other one? There's also this one, potentially. This woman is definitely going to fall off if I don't attach her, but I think like maybe this could go in here. I definitely want to use this image. Even though I didn't end up using this, I really do like the idea of the plate with the background being all glass. So I'm gonna keep on to this. So I've only made it halfway through the pile and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 piles. So I'm actually gonna just stop at the 15-minute mark, which is hilarious. I thought it was gonna take me way longer. I could definitely make a lot more piles, but I have enough to start with. I just wonder if she would fit perfectly in the back. It's kind of funny because she's at a party and she's falling asleep. I think is kind of exactly how I feel sometimes. So I would love to try and see if she fits in. Okay, so how I'm feeling about this one, it reminds me of Sleeping Taj that I did that has another piece. It's definitely working for me. I think maybe her shoulder is too big. I wonder if she needs to come out more. I wonder if she needs to stay down more. Like, I don't know where I really like her. I think these tones really work for me. Like the brown in her shirt is exactly the same color, this like purpley brown terracotta color. So I think that this will work. I'm just trying to figure out where she belongs. Yeah, I actually just fumbled around with it for a little bit because I really like the mariachi band, so I want that to show. And I do want it to still look like a pool, so I want to have like her shoulder showing through, I think. And I think having her hand up, and I was trying like this, but I was like, I don't want it to look like she's like drowning in the pool at a party. So I think that like something around here is like perfect. I also really liked the idea on the Discord channel. Someone said these almost look like they're extras and this is like the main character or something, you know? So like maybe that's kind of the direction I go as well. It definitely works here and it covers the idea of extra.
So that's it. We've finished Februllage, but I still have so many piles. So next week I'm going to do a massive creation as well, where we try to get some of these piles of potential into actual pieces. If you're gonna miss the Februllage prompts, I make my own every month, so go check those out on my community tab on my YouTube. Remember to subscribe so you can see my next videos, and I'll see you guys next week with another creation video.